Good morning, class. I would like to welcome you to our second lecture for our simulation demonstration class. So for today, I will be discussing about forecasting and planning demand. Okay? So ano nga ba ang forecasting technique? Okay? So first, let me discuss with you what are our learning objectives. Of course, we would like to understand and the principles and the theories about forecasting. What are the features common to forecast, the types of forecasts, and what we will be discussing, the dealing deeper here is the time series forecasting here. I will be discussing about different methods, so we will be solving in this lecture. Okay, so ano nga ba ang forecasting? Okay, so according to business forums, forecasting, this is a process of predicting a future event based on historical data. Okay, some says that forecasting is an educated guess. Okay, of course, it's not a guess that your guesses doesn't have a basis. They should have a basis foundation, right? These are usually applied in production, inventory, personnel forecasting, and of course, facilities. Okay, so let me discuss this further. Okay, so what are the uses of forecast? Why do we need to forecast in business? Okay, throughout the day, in any business, it usually employs forecasting. Okay, like for example, you are in the business of, let's say, selling milk tea, since milk tea is a very popular item now. Okay, so what do we need, or what raw materials will you be needing for a particular week? Okay, so in forecasting, since you usually forecast and it is synonymous to cash outlay, so meron kang bibilhin. Okay, so it's just typical that you need to have a good forecast. Otherwise, kapag mali, no, or lumampas ang forecast mo, you will have a lot of raw materials that will serve as your inventory. Eh, alam naman natin, when we say inventory, these are cost, okay, in the business process. So what is the importance of forecasting? Okay, so it is actually being employed in the different departments or in the different business aspect. Okay, like for example, in finance, a company needs to forecast cash. Okay, alam natin cash is not unlimited. Okay, a company or a business operates on a certain amount of cash that it needs for the business to survive. Okay, how much cash or finance will go to the salaries of your employees? How much will go for acquisition of materials? No? How much will go for acquisition of raw materials? How much will go for repairs? Okay, so ito, pino-forecast yan ng finance department. Sa human resources naman, why do you need forecasting? Of course, you will be needing employees. Ilan ang kakailanganin mong personnel sa ganitong department? Proper forecasting of employees is also synonymous to cash outlay. No? Kasi magsisweldo sila. And of course, sa ating subject, which is production, what we need to forecast are materials, raw materials, equipments, yan. No? So, yan ang reason why forecasting is important. Now, there are two uses of forecast. Okay, one is to help the managers plan the system. The second is to help the manager plan the use of the system. When you say planning the system, this actually involves long-range or sometimes medium-range forecasting. Okay? Pag nagpo-forecast tayo, bakit natin kina-classify sa range? Usually sa time or sa amount ng cash na ilalaan ng isang company. No? Pag sinabi natin long-range forecasting, let's say for example, MQC. Okay, it want to let's say increase the number of programs that the school is offering. Of course, no, kung mag-increase ka ng programs, what are the things that you will be needing? You will be needing classrooms. Okay, so magpapatayo ka ng bagong building. So pag nag-forecast ka ng building, hindi ito mangyayari in 1 month or 2 months. How much does the building cost? Let's say about 50 million, 100 million. Okay? It's not one click na makakapag-produce ng ganun kalaking pera ang isang company. So ito, this actually needs long range forecasting. Okay? So kaya for example, magta-transfer kayo ng bagong facility. Okay? So these are the things that help managers plan the system. Now, doon naman sa isa, doon sa planning the use of the system, this is usually synonymous to short range forecasting. Now, kung merong long range pino-forecast ang isang business, meron ding mga short. Okay, short range, these are synonymous to, let's say, shorter capital or smaller capital and shorter time frame. Like for example, mag-hire ka ng part-time na empleyado. No? So, pwede itong shorter forecast sa isa o dalawa lang yan. At hindi masyadong mahal, no? Yung salary na ibibigay mo sa kanila, hindi ito 50 million. Okay? Ano ba yung mga short range? Like for example, you will be needing additional office supplies. Yan, pino-forecast mo yan, no? Yung mga kakailanganin mong office supplies for the next month. Or, let's say, yung example ko kanina, milk tea, you will need to forecast the raw materials that you will use for next week. Okay? So, this one are short range forecasting. Okay, so, ito yan, no? These are the types of forecast. Synonymous to the time frame and the amount of cash that the company will be needing. Okay, so you have the short, the medium, and the long range forecast. Okay, now there are features common to all forecasts. Okay, so we have actually 4. First one, forecasting techniques generally assumes that the same underlying causal system that existed in the past will exist in the future. Okay? Ang forecast, sabi natin kanina, forecasts are based on history. Okay? Like for example, balikan natin yung sa milk tea. Let's say, my sales in terms of classes, for last month, let's say month of July, I was able to sell 1,000 cups. Okay? So, if I want to forecast kung how much ang aking i-produce or bibilhin na raw materials, kasama na yung baso, okay, overtime ng employees, for this July, I will be assuming that the amount or the number of bottles that I sold last month will be equivalent to the number of bottles that I will be able to sell for this month, which is August. Okay? So, yun ang sinasabi ng forecast. Kung ano yung nangyari dati, no, in the past, that will exist in the future. Okay, second, we have to admit, forecasts are rarely perfect. Walang perfect forecast. Okay? Alam naman na, saan na ginagamit ang forecast ngayon? Pag nakikinig tayo ng news, may mga weather forecast na ginagawa. Okay? And if you are listening to this weather forecast, you'll often see merong percentage na binibigay kapag nagpo-forecast ang isang announcer. Okay? Sasabihin niya, 90% chance. How come they never say 100% chance? Because forecasts are never perfect. Meron pa rin chance na hindi mangyayari yon. Okay? So what they do is they just set a higher percentage if they know that the probability of that forecast occurring will be higher. Okay? So what's the third one? Forecasts for group of items tend to be more accurate than forecasts for individual item. Okay, anong ibig sabihin nito? Let's say for example, I'm handling a class here in MQC. Let's say my students are 40. Okay? And then based on their performance, kanilang academic performance, I could actually forecast. I could say na generally, ang mga students ko, ang magiging average nila sa aking subject is, let's say, 1.5. Mas mataas yung percentage na mangyayari yon kaysa sasabihin ko na, let's say, si Joy, si Mary Joy, ang kanyang magiging grade ay 1.3. Okay? So, mas mataas yung percentage na mangyayari dun sa group. Let's say, for example, kayong 5, na ang magiging grade nyo sa akin ay 1.5, kaysa sasabihin ko na, I will pinpoint one student, si Mary Joy. 1.3 ang grade niya. Okay, so mas mataas kapag group ang forecast kaysa sa individual. Okay, what's the fourth one? Forecast accuracy decreases as the time period covered by the forecast or what we call the time horizon increases. Ang ibig sabihin nito, habang tumatagal ang forecast mo, mas lumiliit yung chance na mangyayari. Okay? Kaya nga, sa company, okay, in business, when they do forecast, they usually forecast, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, pinakamatagal na siguro yung 1 year. Pero walang masyadong nagpo-forecast sa business operations ng 5 years. Bakit? Kasi mas maliit yung percentage na, na magkakatotoo yung forecast na matagal kaysa doon sa forecast na panandalian na. Okay, so these are the features common to all forecasts. Now, there are, of course, if there are features common to forecast, we have what we call an elements of a good forecast. Okay? What are these? We also have 4. First, forecast should be timely. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin ng timely? Certain amount of time is needed to respond for the information needed. Ang ibig sabihin yun, dapat, pag nag-forecast ka, it's happening in the present. Okay? You will not forecast something na alam mo, pwede lang siyang mangyari mga after 6 months. Okay? So, they should be timely. It should be happening now. Second, forecast should be accurate. Okay? So, in order to show the accuracy of a forecast, we usually put a percentage to our forecast. Let's say, the forecast, I will be able to, let's say, the grades of my students for this simulation is 1.4. That is, I have a 90% forecast that this will happen. So, yung accuracy niya, nakadugtong siya doon sa percentage na nilagay ko doon sa sinabi ko sa inyo na magiging grade. Okay? What's the third one? Forecast should be expressed in meaningful units. Okay? Whenever we forecast something, we should not forget to place the units. Okay? When we say 94, 94 what? 94 units, 94 meters, 94 inches, 94 pieces, 94 bottles. Hindi natin alam. Dapat lagyan mo siya ng meaningful units. Ano yung kino-forecast mo? Okay, so do not forget that. That's an important one. And then the last one, in the elements of a good forecast should be in writing. Kasi tayo, no, masyadong na tayo lalo na kayo millennials, no, may sinasabi tayong memory full. No, minsan pag nagkaklase ako, my students will say, "Ma'am, memory full." No, ibig sabihin, puno na, marami ng information na nandito sa utak natin. And after 1 week, makakalimutan mo na yan. Okay, so in order for you to remember your forecast, you should always write them. They should be in black and white. Okay, so these are the elements of a good forecast. Now, there are 2 types of forecasting technique. Okay, so we have actually 2 types. We have qualitative forecasting methods and then we have quantitative forecasting methods. I will just be discussing the difference between these 2 forecasting methods. Now, any problem solving that will be discussed, I will not discuss it here in our video lecture, but I will discuss it during the live conference. Okay? So let me just differentiate to you what are these 2 forecasting techniques. First one, when we say qualitative, no? So yung isa quantitative. When we say qualitative, meaning these are not measurable. Okay? Like, for example, executive judgment. Okay? These are opinions that are coming from your seniors. Let's say, an opinion of a president, an opinion of your vice president, an opinion from the vice president for academic affairs, no? So, hindi mo ito ma-measure. Unlike do sa quantitative. Okay? So, that's one. So, we have 4. We have executive, we have Salesforce composite, we have market research, and then we have outside opinion. Let me just discuss them one by one. Okay, when we say opinion, these are the opinion of your managers or experts. No? When we say sales force composite, okay, bakit ba importante ang sales force sa qualitative forecasting? Why? Because the sales people are the ones that are in front. No, they are the ones that are dealing with your consumers. They are the ones that are dealing with your customers. So if you want to know, let's say for example, you're selling milk tea. Okay? You're not going to ask yung nagpo-produce ng milk tea mo. Ang tatanungin mo, yung nakakabenta. No? Yung cashier. Okay? O yung clerk mo na nagsiserve ng milk tea. Okay? Dahil sila yung nakaharap sa customer. So, sales for composite are very important qualitative methods. Okay? They are your source of your forecast. Market research. Okay? Here, you solicit information in the market. No? Balikan natin yung milk tea. Okay, let's say for example, I want to produce a different type of milk tea. Okay, so I'm going to do a market research. Ilan na ba ang milk tea na nasa area ko? Ano ba yung mga flavors that are being offered, no, on these different types of milk tea retail outlets? Okay? Gaano kaya kadami ang nabebenta nila? No? Sino kaya ang mga target customers? So these are my market survey and they are important as well in your qualitative forecasting. Okay, consumer surveys, of course, ito yung kanina, no? When you say market survey, kasama na dito yung mga consumers or customers mo. Okay, I'm using consumer kasi there are these are two, no? Oftentimes, students interchange them, consumer at saka customers. Ano ba ang difference ng consumer sa customer? When you say customers, these are already people that are buying your product. So, na-try na nila yung product mo. Customer mo na sila. Okay? When you say consumers, these are your target would-be customers that haven't tried the product yet. So, ang ibig sabihin, hindi pa nila na-try yung product mo, hindi pa nila binili. So, consumers sila. Once they have tried it, they become your customers. Okay? Now, outside opinion, of course, there are some companies who would like to solicit opinion from consultants. No? Kaya nga, oftentimes, there are some businesses na meron silang mga ina-hire na consultant. No? Ito yung magbibigay ng opinion, but they're not directly hired from their companies. No? Hindi talaga sila, they're not being given a monthly salary. I-hire mo lang sila. Let's say sa MQC, meron siyang hinire na an attorney. Okay? So, yung attorney nito, meron lang siyang retainer fee. Okay? Bakit may retainer fee lang siya? Let's say retainer fee of 5,000, pwede kang mag-consult sa kanya. Okay? So, those are the qualitative. Now, we go on the quantitative forecasting method. So, kung kanina, opinion, these are methods that are not measurable. Quantitative, okay, so dito tayo magsasolve, no? From the name itself, quantity. So these are things that you can measure, that you can count, that you can see. Okay? And there are different types of quantitative method. Okay? So we will concentrate mostly on the time series model. So we have 4. We have random, we have trend, we have seasonal, and then we have composite. Let me discuss them one by one. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng random? Ano ibig sabihin ng trend? Okay? When we say trend, this data exhibit a steady growth or decline over time. Okay? It is a gradual. Pag sinabi natin gradual, hindi siya mabilis. No? Gradual yung kanyang growth. Okay? So, like for example, ano ba ang trend sa forecast? No? When we say trend, it could happen only once, okay? And then pwedeng matagal bago mangyari ulit. Like for example, I consider milk tea a trend. Okay? You know why? Milk tea, actually naging boom na sila probably about 5-6 years ago. And then nawala sila. No? And then last year, lumabas ulit ang mga milk tea. So, trend ang milk tea ngayon. No? Dati, you only have one store, two or three retail outlets. Now, alam niyo ba, from San Fernando hanggang Angeles, sabi nila, meron daw 80 retail stores that are selling milk tea. No? Could you imagine that? Ang dami-dami. So, it is definitely a trend. No? So, the other one is what we call the seasonality. Eh, ano bang ibig sabihin ng seasonality? These are short term, but they are regular. Short lang sila, pero regularly nangyayari sila. Like for example, holidays. No? Ano ba, let's say ngayon, malapit na ang Pasko. No, sabi nga ng mga pag nanonood tayo or nakikinig tayo online ng mass, sabi nga ng mga priest, tuloy pa rin ang Pasko. Ano ba ang mabenta o anong madalas mong makita pag Pasko? Number one is ham. And then you see Christmas decorations. So these are seasonal trends. These are seasonal forecasts. Why? Makikita mo lang yung ham probably November. And then middle of January, wala na. No? O kaya yung mga parol, the Christmas lantern, you will see them probably at the start. Sa Pilipinas kasi maaga ang Pasko. No? Probably September, October, you will see this lantern or Christmas decorations. And then pagdating ng January, wala na yan. No? So seasonal. Pero short term sila, but they will occur again on a regular interval. Like, for example, ngayon November, parating ang what is that? The All Souls or the All Saints Day. So, anong mabenta? Kandila, bulaklak. Okay? So, on a short term, 2 days only. And then after that, stop na, and then it will occur again next year. So, short term, but regular variations ang pag-occur. Okay? So, third one, we have what we call a cycle. Cycles, these are wave-like variation. Usually, matagal ang kanyang duration. Okay? Pero, pwede rin siyang mangyari. No? Like, for example, what? Let's say, earthquake. Pag nagkaroon ng earthquake, magbabago ang forecast ng business. No? Ano ang kakailanganin mo? Let's say, for example, bago magsara ang mag-lockdown, no? What happened to Philippines? Pumutok yung Taal Volcano. Okay, so anong nangyari? Nasira lahat yung mga nagkaroon ng abo, yung mga bahay-bahay, no? Walang pagkain. So anong nangyari sa forecast mo? What are the products that are in demand? No? So, usually tubig, no? O kaya panlinis sa bahay. Yan, no? So, does eruption of Taal or any volcano occurs on a regular basis? No. But, pwedeng maulit. Yun nga lang, we do not know when it will occur. So, they're like a cycle, but we do not know when they will happen. Okay? What about random variations? Okay, random variations, they're mostly similar sa cycle, but from this definition, look at the definition. Random variations, these are erratic and unpredictable variations in the data over time with no discernible pattern. So, no pattern at all. Like for example, coronavirus. Yan, no? When was the last time nagkaroon ng outbreak, a pandemic? No? Kasi pag sinabi mong pandemic, it is occurring worldwide. I think that was 1918. Pero, nagkaroon na tayo ng outbreak. We have dengue outbreak. No? Ang dengue, laging nangyayari yan. No? Sa kadalasan kapag tag-ulan. Okay? Or, ano ba mga dengue outbreak na natin? Polio. Okay? Pero hindi lang magnified. Iba kasi itong coronavirus. No? So, these are random variation. This totally na-disrupt ang forecast ng lahat ng business. Totally, no? Dati, kung merong plano yan, at more or less, you have a steady forecast of your employees, steady forecast ng cash mo, steady forecast ng order ng raw materials mo, of the machineries or equipment that you're going to purchase. Ngayon, na-disrupt lahat. No? So, ano yung mga mabenta ngayon? Ang daming businesses na nagsara. But still, may pa rin mga businesses na na boom ngayon. Like for example, no? Itong ginagawa natin, online discussion. So, mabenta ngayon ang mga laptops, ang mga cellphone gadgets, mga tablets, mga notebooks. So, ito ngayon ang mga nagkaroon ng variation, no? So, magbabago ang forecast. Ito yung mabenta. Dati hindi naman sila ganon. Hindi naman ganon yung sales na nangyayari sa kanila, no? So, these are, if you have noticed, these are quantitative in nature, okay? So, when we say quantitative, we can actually solve them, okay? So, these are, look at the figure that I have here, okay? This one, you see the pink one, okay? Straight lang siya, pataas lang, no? So, that is a trend. Ang trend kasi pataas, but there will come a point na bababa yan kapag hindi na siya trend, hindi na siya uso. No? So, it will go up, you see the pink one, and then there will come a point na bababa. Ibig sabihin, mawawala na siya. Okay? Now, anything that you see the curve that is in the blue, no? So anything that you see above the pink one, the trend line, so anything that you see above the pink one, we call those the seasonal. No? Ano itong mga season na to? Nakikita natin 4 year. Ano yung mga season na yan? Ibig sabihin, nangyayari sila every year. No, we have the summer outing, season yan. Mabenta ang mga bathing suit, mabenta ang mga resorts. No, we have the All Saints Day, we have the Christmas, we have the New Year. So, ito yung mga seasons natin. And then, pababa. No, kung makikita mo, abrupt yung pagbaba niya. And then, tataas ulit. Kasi season sila. Okay? Now, what are the random variations naman? If you see like the uncommon curve, nakikita nyo ba dito sa between year 1 and year 2? Okay? And then there's a curve na iba siya, hindi siya smooth. That's a random variation. Sabihin na disrupt ang forecast mo dun sa time na yon, no? And then, but I have given you some examples on what random variations are. Like for example, coronavirus. Yan, no? Yan, talagang very random variation yan. So this is the trend of your time series, no? Time series component. Okay, that actually ends my lecture. Okay, so I hope you will. The beauty about the online discussion is that if there are things that you have forgotten or things that you do not understand, you can actually go back to the video. You can replay it, no, and or go back to that particular topic that you want to understand more. Okay, so that ends my lecture. I think it's a 30-minute lecture, and I will entertain. I will continue the discussion on our actual demonstration simulation on Tuesday. Okay, to God be the glory. Thank you, guys. Bye.